Guest with us this morning, Mr. John Kroniak with Academy Sports and Outdoors. Would you like to have welcome to Brenham, Texas, and do you have a few words for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. I'm very honored and pleased to be here. Councilwoman Golick, it's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
Judge, we started this conversation. Well, this conversation predates me at Academy Sports and Outdoors. I joined about 2.5 years ago as Senior Vice President of Real Estate, Store Design, and Construction. And one of the first missions that they put my team and I on was we've got to get a store in Brenham. And I'd never been to Brenham, so I came up here with my family new to Texas, and we immediately saw the great community that you all have here. And we were very excited. We have a number of employees that make the commute into Katy, Texas every day. And we know that there are a lot of people here in Brenham and in the county that drive a long way to go to our stores. And so after a very quick analysis, we realized this was going to be a great opportunity. And we journeyed through a couple things, a couple different ways to do it, and we ultimately landed on the current opportunity. We came up and met with the judge and with the commission and some other esteemed colleagues of yours. And I just wholeheartedly want to say thank you for welcoming us with open arms. It was a very smooth process during the not only the discussion of and near completion of the incentive program, but also during the review and approval process. You know, we're building stores in over 18 states, and I have to say that this was one of the smoothest transactions. So I just personally want to say thank you, because my store design and construction team worked wonderfully with your teams. We opened our store a couple days ago, and you know, it's been a great opening so far. We call that a soft opening. We'll have different events throughout the week. I don't know which day, but you know, we'll be doing different events Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday morning we have our ribbon cutting, and then we'll activate the parking area, you know, with different things for family and friends. And you know, I just welcome you all to come in at your convenience and see what we've built here, and also again say thank you, because without your support to help us get through the planning and then the future incentives and the arrangement we have, you know, this all wouldn't have been possible. We are very excited to be here. Our associates are excited to be here, especially the ones who live in and around here, so they don't have to just shop down in Katy. And we've built our current state-of-the-art prototype, just over 60,000 square feet, plus or minus 63. We offer our full assortment throughout the different categories that we carry, and we're just happy to be part of and hope to become an integral part of the fabric of this community. So on behalf of my team and my executive team, every associate and the board, we just want to say thank you for having us here in Brenham.
Okay,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. The Washington County Commissioners Court is now in session, 9:01 a.m., September 12th, 2023. Washington County Courthouse. Commissioner Bullock, would you introduce our pastor?
Good morning, everyone. Today we have Reverend Johnny Williams from Mount Zion to lead us in our invocation. Thank you for being with us.
Shall we pray? Eternal God, we thank you for another opportunity to come together in honor of your name. We thank you for all that you have done and all that you are doing and will do for us. We acknowledge that we're helpless without your aid and assistance, but because of you we live, we move, and have our being. We want to ask you now that you would continue to be our director, continue to be our provider, and we will continue to look to you from which our help come. We're still looking to you for some heavenly water, and we know that you're able to provide it. But because you're sovereign, we have to put our little wheel in your big wheel and say, thy will be done. Then forgive us of our misbehaviors, because somewhere we fell short of doing your will. These are another blessing we do ask in Jesus' name with thanksgiving. Amen.
Amen. Please join us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The Texas flag.
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
At this time, we will recess our regular session agenda and we will reopen in a public hearing. Public hearing is to hear comments from the public regarding the proposed 2024 budget for Washington County. This budget will raise more revenue from property taxes than last year's budget by $1,631,352, or 7.22%. Of that amount, $527,975 is tax revenue to be raised from new property added to the tax roll this year. Are there any comments from the public?
A question, did we raise the rate of tax? The
No.
percentage?
No. We'll get to that in just a little bit, Mr. Nail, but we did not. Are there any further questions or comments from the public?
Could you give the overall numbers for, like, the split between each of the different funds, like general, road and bridge, like the overall totals?
I don't know if we can do that this time. Sure. If you have that, you can pull it up.
You're talking about the disbursements, the expenses?
Yes, just like each of the individual funds, like what the overall total is for the budget.
Okay. So what are you looking for exactly? Expenses or
Like
revenue?
for general, road and bridge, EMS.
He wants to know the expenses.
The total disbursements
just a minute.
for the general fund is shown at $26,517,731.04. That's correct. Road and Bridge, 7.741339. EMS, 9.267375. Debt service, 418,700. And district attorney, $979,337.
Is that what you were looking for,
Is that
Mr.
what you were-
Clausen?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you.
I would just like to say a few things. First off, when I originally ran for this office, my mother told me, she said, "Kirk, I don't want you to do it." And I said, "Why not, Mother?" And she said, "Politics is a dirty business. We have a good name in this town." And she said, "People will try to destroy you if you're an honest person." And she said, "So I don't want you to do it." And I said, "Mom, it's not about us. It's about our community." So I ran on that platform and basically said a common sense approach to county government. And I don't think there's a better time for common sense than now. We have to as a community come together and understand some realities of where we are with our budget. Okay? I know that there were things said in the news media, and I understand them. If we are going to have the trust of our community, we have to let them know what we're doing. Today, we're going to let them know. We're going to let all of us know what's going on in this budget. So first off, I will say 2 wrongs don't make a right. There are 5 members of this Commissioner's Court. If you can't reach one of them, call the next one, is all I will say to that. So 2 wrongs do not make a right. You are entitled to your opinion. You're not entitled to your own set of facts. That's how leadership works. And it's difficult to be in leadership. I will tell you that we have a lot of challenges, and county government is not exempt from them. There are several taxing entities, and if you look over this county government and this county entirely, those taxing entities have problems just like we do, but we face them head on. That's what we're doing here today. Yes, this budget is going to bring in more money, and yes, it is something that we all gave a great deal of reverence to. because we do understand where we are in our economy, where we are in our own pocketbooks. We understand that. We understand that as a court, and we understand that as constituents. Because despite what many people will want you to believe, we are also constituents here. When I go to HEB, I get to see each and every one of those people that are there, and I have to answer to the things that I do. I put my name on it. Every single Tuesday, we put our name on it. So if you're going to make a comment about this commissioner's court, put your name on it, because we would like to have a dialogue with you. Your name isn't concerned. You have a name. Put your full name. Let us have that conversation. My phone number is 979-277-2044. That's my cell number. Anybody wants to have some dialogue with me, give me a call. I will tell you, yes, this number is large. 300,000 of that 1.6 million is in that number because that's part of what happens when you get a discount to your property tax. That number's in there. That's for full transparency. Our auditor was concerned about that number because she said, I think I gave you a wrong number. No, that's the right number because that's the total amount. We're going to pay our taxpayers back for paying early. So that's an expense. The $527,000 is new revenue, meaning that once you take that $300,000 off, then you subtract that off, and that's the total amount that current taxpayers, not new taxpayers, pay. Okay? So those are the realities of our taxation. Now let's go into what that paid for. We gave pay increases for every single employee in Washington County government. We gave a 3% COLA and a 2% merit. So elected officials have the opportunity to provide a merit pay raise to their employees that are excelling and to encourage others to do better. That's what that merit does. We also hired 10 people. Believe it or not, 10 people. But you know what? Those 10 people weren't hired because somebody came here this year's budget and said, hey, I need these 10 people. There's been years where we've had to tell these people no because we are a conservative court. But the time is now. The time is now to hire those 10 people. One of those is an attorney for the DA. One is a discovery clerk for the DA. One is an attorney for the county attorney. One is a discovery clerk for the county attorney's office. 2 of them are dispatch personnel. Our call volume for EMS alone in 2011, since 2011, went up 99%. 99%. Write that down. That's a fact. We hired 2 EMS personnel. Okay? We also hired someone to help out at the expo, and we hired a communications director. We put that in the budget. You know why? Because social media is full of people making accusations based on things that are unfactual.
Social media and media.
I will say that we have to understand that the truth should prevail. And as my mother said, you can't destroy someone's character just to get your way and just to think you're right. Call me. We also increased the road and bridge budget. $500,000 in paving for rock. $500,000 in paving for asphalt. Yes, we put that money in there. Why? Because we've realized that our infrastructure requires it. It's not something we wanted. I see Mr. Sanders here today. He will tell you that it is difficult to handle that infrastructure. He knows. He knows. So look, while I understand there is some contention about this budget created by things where there were some mistakes made early on, please understand that I honestly and with the greatest sincerity believe this is the right direction for our community and for our citizens. Now, let's address the EMS because it's the elephant in the room. We have had people attack this EMS from day one. And it is just phenomenal that we continue to allow it. And what's really phenomenal is they've turned the attack not on just the EMS, but on the individual that runs it. It's a personal attack on his character and on his leadership, and it needs to stop. What we are discussing in the public is a comment that was made by the outside auditor. We separate EMS out of the general fund budget. It's separated out of there. So what we have to do is when the revenues do not meet the tax that we proposed for that, we push it over to the EMS. So look, we budget taxes, $8.3 million last year, for that operation. $1.7 million of that came from the general fund. Yes, it did. But if it was in the general fund, that transfer would have never happened. It would have just been a tax expense. Now listen, if we're going to require public safety to make a profit, then it needs to make a profit across the board, meaning all of them. Dispatch, law enforcement, fire, all of them. If we're going to require it, let's make that requirement equally across the board. I don't think we want to do that as a community. Now, the 1.7 is left over. We can make that go away. You know how we do it? We charge each and every person that rides that EMS or that helicopter. Last year, $2.2 million was written off to taxpayers who in their worst moments needed a ride on that EMS. And this commissioner's court would rather you not get a bill in your lowest moment of life. And we'd rather you pay that bill in October when you don't have that problem and you get another discount for your property tax. Something else this commissioner's court could end. Now, we could take away that privilege and everybody pay, and then we'll be where you want us to be. But look, I don't think that's a great move, personally. We can have that discussion possibly in next year's budget. But as far as I'm concerned, anyone who rides that EMS or that helicopter is in a time of their worst need. And they deserve to not have to come home and get a bill from their county government after they're struggling to pay the bills that they got from the hospital. So let's talk about the helicopter. The helicopter, you have to separate ground from air. The helicopter is separated. So now let's separate it out. Once we do that, I have some numbers that I picked up, and I will give you the numbers for the air. In 2022, the air expenses to Metro was $1.485219. Air revenue as of today is $1.316482. Revenues pending that are held up in court. What we need to understand is on August 24th of 2023, the U.S. District Court on the Eastern District of Texas issued an opinion and an order in Texas Medical Association versus United States Department of Health and Human Services. The federal government held that money up. Now, I understand that that was classified as a lie in the news, but it's not. That's actually held up. And the amount held up is $577,684. When you add that money to the $1.3 million, you have a projected revenue of $300,000 to $400,000, and the money is still coming in. There are still people being called by our EMS. So if you come to realize that our EMS has a 99% increase in call volume, all the while the pro forma that was given to this commissioner's court is pretty spot on. And those are the facts we presented at the beginning. And listen, the county judge and Kevin DeRamus sat down with the Spectator. The last time we had this discussion is when this court went to Metro. And for a 2-hour conversation, at the end of the conversation, he says, I wish I'd have had that before I ran the Spectator. Today, what I will tell you, and I'm going to end with this, I wish he had called me this time before he ran the Spectator. Thank y'all so much for listening to me. I'm sorry for that long-winded conversation, but I think the truth needs to be known. I am not here to spread lies or untruths, and I am not here to be dishonest with the people that I represent. My goal is to represent you well and to provide leadership for this Commissioners Court for the future of our county government. We have to be concerned about the future. There are so many that are concerned about the here and now, and it usually revolves around themselves. I do not have that luxury as a county commissioner, and neither do my court members. We have to be concerned about the future and the future of our citizenry. We just had a conversation with Academy. Academy is coming here, and they are open for business. This is amazing to our community. We're growing. It shows a sign of growth. But we have to be continually be vigilant in what we do to make this a better place to live for all of our constituency. And we can't do that if we're constantly bickering and arguing over things that are not true. Let's just get the truth out. Thank you so much. Thank you for commissioners and judge for allowing me to speak today. I felt like this was an appropriate time, since it's public comment, for me to have this conversation with you.
Thank you, Commissioner. One thing I'd like to add, a little clarification also. Yes, this budget will bring in $1,631,352 more. And where is that money going? Because that was questioned. Why this huge increase? $773,309 is going to existing employees in pay raises. Commissioner just stated that's a 3% plus a 2% merit. $773,000 of that is what it takes to give that pay raise. This is not a small operation. We have a lot of employees. Also, the new positions that he alluded to, the 10, that's $630,389. $630,389 for those 10 positions. So just take that. That's where the tax money is going. We're not being frivolous with it whatsoever. Mr. Engel?
What about the sheriff's department?
The budget for the Sheriff's Department, you know what the increase is?
You know what the increase is?
$263,959. But that includes pay raises, so you understand.
What about the number of new deputies, or were there any additional deputies planned?
The addition there was the new position was for the SRO for Burton. That was an additional deputy there. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
I just want to thank Kurt for explaining that to the public. I think that's a great thing, and I believe it's all right. It's good.
Okay, any further comments from the public?
I'd like to say something real quick. I'll just tell everybody here, as you know, that the Spectator put out a piece yesterday. And anybody that would like more information as to what he was speculating about, which I will tell you is fake news. It doesn't just happen on the national scale. It does happen locally as well. But please go and look at my social media account, Candace Koshin Bullock, on Facebook or Instagram. And I did post a comment yesterday at about 6:35, and KWHI has yet to post it, so I have posted it, as I see that this is an extremely important time to push back and not allow this type of divisiveness to stand unchallenged. So please go and check that out. And if you have any questions for me, my cell phone number is 512-787-2400, has been since I was 19 years old. If I don't answer, shoot me a text message. Thank you.
Okay, any other comments? We will close the public meeting at this time and we'll reconvene our regular session agenda. No, item number 4, discuss and take record vote to approve the adoption of the Washington County budget for 2024. Commissioner Kestner, how do you vote?
Aye.
Mr. Bullock?
Aye.
I vote aye. Commissioner Hannon?
Aye.
and Commissioner Mayeski, excuse me.
Aye.
Okay. Oh, 5 for, 0 against. Item number 5, discuss and possibly act upon ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the 2024 budget. Okay, the tax increase, everybody knows what that is. We got
Do
it
you need to
right
make a
here.
motion?
Yes.
I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of the tax rate of 0.3840, which is effectively a 3.5% increase in the tax rate.
I'll second.
Excuse me. We're voting on the property tax increase at this time, not the tax
okay.
rate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me. Discuss and possibly act upon ratifying the property tax increase reflected in the 2024 book. All, I need a motion.
I
to
make
that
a
motion.
motion for the property tax increase reflected in the 2024 budget.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Now, item number 6, discuss and take record vote to approve the order levying the Washington County property tax rate for 2023.
I need to make an explanation here. Mr. Amel asked a question if the rate was going up, and the judge said no. The current property tax rate is .3860. Current property tax rate is .3860. The proposed tax rate is .3840. The no new revenue rate is .3706, I believe. So that is why this motion will be that we adopt an effective rate that is an increase because of that. So I want people to know the truth about why we have to say that is because the legislature requires it. It is law. So I move that the property tax rate be increased by the adoption of a tax rate of .3840, which is effectively a 3.5% percentage increase in the tax rate.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. I'll take a record vote. Commissioner?
Aye.
Commissioner?
Aye.
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 5 for, 0 against.
Do I have a moment to say something?
Yes.
I just wanted to mention that the court is currently working on a budget recap document that will give more insight into some of the changes and the decisions that we made. So I just wanted to go ahead and let everybody know, please be looking for that.
Okay.
Will it be available in print?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, we will recess our regular session agenda and reopen in a public hearing. Public hearing pursuant to Texas Government Code 118.025 for public comments regarding the proposed Washington County Clerk's Records Archive Plan for year 2024. Any comments from the public?
Can we get a brief description of what that is?
So this is an annual thing, Mr. Amel, that the county clerk has to provide. And she presents it to the court and to the public annually, and we vote on it. It's for her records in her office.
For her archive plan for her records, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, we'll now close the public hearing and reconvene in our regular session agenda. Item number 8, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of the Washington County Clerk's Records Archive Plan for year 2024 for the preservation and restoration of archived records.
I make a motion to approve the Washington County Clerk's Record Archive Plan for 2024 for the preservation and restoration of archive
I
records.
second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 9, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulations contracts. This morning we have one of those. It is for an exotic animal sale, but it'll be virtual. Not, the live animals will not be at our expo facility. It'll be a virtual sale. If you'd like to attend, it'll be in the sales facility, and you'll be able to bid on whatever exotic animals they're selling. So,
I'll move
And
upon.
let's be honest, that would not have happened without a robust IT department. We're
Right.
able to do those things because we have IT, and we
Right.
can do those things because of it. So just
Absolutely.
for the
If
public.
you haven't been in that sales facility and seen those big screens and
It's something.
things you can do, it's amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, is there a motion?
Yes, I'll move upon the approval of pending Washington County Expo rental regulation contracts and authorize the county judge to sign.
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 10, discuss and possibly act upon the approval to appoint Mr. Bob Cox to the Washington County Historical Commission to serve the remainder of the 2023-2024 term. Mr. Cox, you want to stand and let's take a look at you there? Yeah. Glad to have you with us this morning and glad you accept this challenge with the Historical Commission.
Mr. Cox, thank you so much for serving. It's hard to find volunteers. We say this all the time, but that historical commission has got them. You guys have a good team to work with, so congratulations on being part of that team.
Yes. Welcome to the team.
Is there a motion?
I make a motion to appoint Mr. Bob Cox to the Washington County Historical Commission to serve the remainder of the 2023-2024 term.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you for your service.
Thanks. Item number 11, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of Commissioners' Court meetings of August 2023.
Commissioners, I only found a few corrections. I've submitted them to the county clerk's office, and they have made those corrections. So I make a motion to approve the Commissioners' Court meeting minutes of August 2023.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss and act upon subdivision variance request amendment for land division fronting Cedar Hill Road in the J.H. Alcom Survey A-003 Precinct 3. Mr. Stoltz.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. This particular item we actually brought forward as a variance request on the June 27th meeting agenda. There's been a request for an amendment to that particular variance. There was a subject parent tract of 15.4 acres and 3 1.5 acres that would be broken off from this. The new amendment would be 1 1.5 acre as well as 2 2.82 acre tracts. The same frontage, they just go a little bit further back. Personally, I think this is a very similar subdivision itself, but significant enough that I do believe that it warrants approval from the Commissioners Court for this amendment. I have checked the Commissioner or the County Clerk records. Nothing has been broken up at this point, so this is strictly an amendment to that original
To that
variance.
original, okay.
Yes.
And Commissioners, this is probably better for us because it creates 3 lots that are larger, and
Yeah.
there's less
I see
potential
that.
of more division happening
Exactly.
at this lot.
Exactly.
Correct.
It's a good change.
So I make a motion to approve the variance request amendment for a land division fronting Cedar Hill Road in the J.H. Alcorn Survey A-0003 in Precinct 3.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 13, discuss and act upon a subdivision variance request for a land division fronting Bossy Road in the Andrew Miller Survey A-0083 Precinct 1.
Yes, this is another variance request that's been brought forward to the Commissioners Court for review. With this one, you'll actually notice the parent tract is something you've seen before. The subdivision that was actually presented to the court as a preliminary plat, which have broken up approximately 15 lots and a new roadway. That particular plan has been vacated by the owner. This is a new proposal that would place one 4.1 acre tract, one 4.1 acre tract, an additional 5.5 with a retainage of 40.85 acres. All minimums in terms of the frontage requirements and setbacks, the acreage have all been met and has been reviewed by the environmental team as well. I do recommend approval to the Commissioners Court.
I only have one question, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Schultz, and this is just sheerly personal because I see that this tank is
Yeah.
being divided in half by 2 tracks.
Mhm.
I was thinking the
I,
same thing.
I think that that will pose a problem for those landowners in the future.
Yeah.
because landowners don't always get along. And so, just saying. And so, has that been brought to this developer's attention in the sense of, hey, county has a concern there, because you could literally take that portion out of that division if you wanted to. But after we approve this,
That's
then
good.
it's gonna be good to go, and unless they come back with an amendment.
So what I can do is I can talk to them and see if they want to put some sort of additional easement in place that wouldn't need Commissioners Court approval for that. Some kind of deal where it must be mutual agreement if there's going to be modifications to the pond. At the end of the day, really at this point, one could fill in their half and the other one could keep theirs intact. You're exactly
Yes,
right, and that
I
could cause
totally agree with
frustration.
That's
But
not
it is a,
At all.
Or maybe their ideas of maintenance are different.
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
stocking.
Yes.
Some people want
Comes
bass,
an
some want
issue.
catfish.
It is a legal option, but at the same time, I 100% agree that there could in the future be problems between the landowners. If it's okay with you, I'll speak with them and say, hey, this would probably be a good idea if we have mutual agreement beyond maintenance requirements as well as future amendments.
I would encourage them to.
Usage agreement of some sort, yeah.
Is there somebody
Yeah.
that, is there
I'm-
some? Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, I didn't know you were here for
We
that.
can actually put that into maintenance of those food trucks. I'll give you that.
Okay.
So you're here for this?
Yes.
What's your name, sir?
Jason O'Connell.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
so sorry. I did
I
not know
didn't
you
know-
were here. Well,
I didn't know.
thank you for coming.
Yes,
And,
thank you for coming.
you're saying you would put that in the deed record
Yep.
of that?
Yeah. We'll put that in for a easement on the pond, so
Yeah.
that way it has to be maintained on both sides.
Okay.
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 Thank
All
you.
right.
Makes sense.
And you're okay with the 60-foot wide
Yeah.
easement all the way to the back?
Yes, sir, that does meet our minimum requirements.
Is
Yeah.
that an easement or is that a?
That is owned.
That is
No,
owned
no,
by the
that's-
40 acre
I
tract?
used the wrong term.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll move upon a subdivision variance request for a land division fronting Bossy Road in the Andrew Miller Survey A0083 in Precinct 1.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Item number 14, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of accounts payable. Ms. Kramer.
Okay. This week, there are $853,254.11 that we are paying. Of course, $596,000 of that is for paving roads, so, that's what,
It's that time of
3/4 of
year.
it?
Can tell we're in the paving season, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
There's of course, there was a whole chunk of them for quarterly workers' comp payments. And I believe there's probably some new panels out at the fairgrounds.
All right.
Yes.
They'll like
That's
that.
the
Yeah.
Producers Cooperative?
Yes.
Mhm,
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
That is.
I thought that's what that was.
Yeah.
And the fair is gonna be pleased to have those.
Oh,
Very
I
well
would bet.
needed. They was needed for a long time.
Yeah, so
So
there's
I'll
that.
move upon the approval of accounts payable.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Item number 15.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We are adjourned. We will now reopen into a notice of a public meeting for Pecan Glen Road District, Tuesday, September 12th, 2023. Item number 1, discuss and possibly act upon the approval of an order levying taxes for the Pecan Glen Road District for the tax year 2023.
It's not ordered into these things.
Where is that? What happened to the?
There was nothing in my packet for that.
I have,
Carly sent it.
Yeah,
Carly
it's
sent it.
separate.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, she did.
okay.
I didn't see it.
I didn't
Vernon.
print it
I
out.
apologize.
Do y'all have it, anybody? Okay, excuse me. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I did not see that. I'm sorry.
Item number 1, that there is hereby levied and there shall be collected for Pecan Glen Road District for the tax year 2023 upon all property, real, personal, and mixed, within the corporate limits of said district subject to taxation of debt rate of 0.33407 cents on each $100 valuation of property. The board hereby finds and declares that written notice of the date, hour, place, and subject of the meeting at which this order was adopted was posted, and that such meeting was open to the public as required by law at all times during this order, and the subject matter hereof were discussed, considered, and formally acted upon, all as required by the Open Meetings Act, Chapter 551, Texas Government Code as amended, read and approved this 12th day of September 2023. If it's approved. Okay, is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve an order levying taxes for the Pecan Glen Road District for the tax year 2023.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Item number 2.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second that motion.
Motion been made and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed. We are adjourned.